Sure. Thanks, Ben. And again, thanks to you guys for, coming in today. It's great to be able to learn. We learned this technology to be able to hold these via Zoom. But again, it was a good day for us today as a team. This was our last opportunity to get inside the shell and scrimmage, really, before our next opportunity against West Virginia, September 4th, as we kind of wind down camp. We broke from our team hotel yesterday, and our guys are starting to, get used to being back in their normal apartments. The scrimmage today got cut short because of lightning. We missed a couple of segments of it, but was still able to get quite a few plays. I think we ran 95 plays today, which we were able to get a lot of the work done. I think the thing that we missed was our 2-minute situations, as well as some of our end of the game situations that we can kind of get caught back up sometime this week as we start winding down and getting into West Virginia prep. So again, I thought today was competitive between all three phases. We were able to get a lot of young players, a lot of work today. So was excited with the way the guys performed. And with that, I guess I'll open up to any questions.
Remember to please send me a chat if you have a question. We'll start with Jacob.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for giving us a couple of minutes. Apologies if I missed this at the front end, but after the first scrimmage, you talked about how there was a bit of an issue with penalties. I was just wondering how the team performed in regards to the last scrimmage in that regards.
Yeah, going into this week, as I said, we keep, we have referees at every practice, and we've done a pretty good job this week of limiting them. Today we did have, again, some of the same issues with, which usually, and again, when you're playing a lot of these young guys and it's their first time, because, we got our starters out of there early. We wanted to get some good work with the one offense and the one defense. And then we started a lot of substitutions in an effort to evaluate, some of the newcomers. And to me, that's where, again, some of these just self-inflicted wounds showed up. So, again, something we've continued to preach about, something we'll continue to hold our guys accountable to, playing with the necessary discipline. As I said, I can deal with pass interference and some of the penalties that come along with playing the game, but it's the self-inflicted ones, the false starts, the lining up in the neutral zone. Those are the ones that really, really, get my ire. And so I'm working really hard to stay on top of our guys about not beating ourselves and taking care of business from that standpoint.
We'll go to Emily next.
Hi, I was just curious what you thought about the progression and development of the offensive line, and particularly a couple of those spots that don't have the clear returning starter. Yeah,
there's really one spot I think that doesn't have a clear returner. Coming out of spring, we felt obviously Mason Lunsford is an established guy that will be the starter for us at left guard, and so the question mark really for us is the one guard position, right guard. And right now, with Eric Harris's development, if he can continue to develop the way we've seen him develop, may allow us to move, Jahari Branch over to the right guard position he played last year. If not, Evan Neal has competed and has taken up a bunch of lion's share of the reps with the ones on the O-line. We feel like depth-wise, probably 8 to 9 guys deep. And we knew that going into the year, which is why, from a recruiting standpoint, it's imperative that we go out and get some tackles in this class to build our depth. So happy with the 8 to 9 guys we got rotating in, with Emilio Moran and DJ Glaze, both being contributors. And today we mixed and matched a lot of the lineups up front in an effort to kind of see guys in some game-like situations.
Go to Dylan Spilko.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Now, with 2 scrimmages done, which guys have you noticed just being outspoken leaders of the team, and who's being vocal that you've noticed?
Yeah, it's a bunch of guys. Dylan, I can say, the ones that jump out to me, Sam Okwanku. Samo. I can't get his name right, man. I feel sorry for you guys too, but Sam O is one of those guys that really kind of jumps out to me, and it's mostly because he's not a vocal guy. He's one of those guys that typically leads by example, but I really see him trying to be that leader. And as a guy that's going into what we call a super senior year for him. It's great to see. You're starting to see guys like, Spencer Anderson kind of control the front guys, the O-line. He's stepping into somewhat of a leadership role for us. Obviously, Tayon Fleet Davis is also doing a great job amongst it. So quite a few guys across the board are really trying to distribute or show or demonstrate the type of leadership that we're asking.
We'll go to Jeff Herman.
Hey, Mike, I don't think anyone's asked you about special teams. Can you say what it's kind of looking like there in the competition for the return jobs and kicker and punter?
Yeah, obviously we've got a returning starter in Petrino at the kicking position. Has been pushed. We've added a couple of transfers in here in terms of the Beatty kid transferring in from Oregon, as well as the freshman walk-on Hiles who came in from Orlando. They both we put them in some long situations today, and they both kind of responded well. So feel good that we created some depth there behind Joe Petrino at the kicking position. Obviously we got both returning punters, 98 and 99, both coming back in terms of being able to be established, experienced punters. And so really happy with the progression of the kicking game this past offseason and as well as doing camp. And we've really put a lot of emphasis on our special teams this year. And you'll see the cover units should be a lot better because we've been able to increase depth on our team as well as our athleticism, which typically helps your special teams.
And then what about in the return game? How's the return game looking?
Right now with the return game, we see Rakim Jarrett and Dante Demas both being kind of primary kickoff return guys along with Isaiah Jacobs. In the punting game, obviously Rakim Jarrett's back there. Jay Sean Jones is back there as well as Dawan McDougal from a return game. And again, we've got, like I said, by increasing our athleticism in the perimeter, we've got quite a few skilled guys that have the ability to return the ball. Obviously, this will be new for Dante Demas being back there as a kick returner, but Rakim Jarrett's done a great job back there with doing both. Jay Sean Jones does a great job and has game experience returning punts. And then again, Dawan McDougal is a young guy that we feel really good about that has the ability to be an explosive returner for us. So happy with the way we've been able to develop some guys back there as returners.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll go to Bruce Posner.
Yeah, Coach. This year, we're still 2 weeks away from the first game. Is there a sense right now, are you much more comfortable than the way the season was thrown at you last year? And are you starting to get a little itchy to get it on with West Virginia? Because it's still 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's still 2 weeks away, but obviously for us with breaking, camp in terms of our guys moving out of the hotel and now trying to get them back situated, we're moving them back into their normal places of residence so they can kind of have a week under their belt. Obviously, we got students starting to show up here on campus, which, it's been different because last year we didn't have a lot of this and we were kind of here on campus alone. 2 weeks is a long time away. We still have our natural progression of finishing camp. We broke the hotel, but we haven't necessarily broke camp. We still are in two-a-day mode where, we'll get back in here tomorrow, watch the film, make the corrections, and then have another good week. But what we've started to do in our minds as coaches, because this is really the last kind of big scrimmage that we can have prior to, playing on September 4th, is starting to evaluate really personnel and hone in as to what guys we got to get ready to go out and prepare as we prepare for West Virginia.
Has the league advised you on new protocol procedures for this year? Because there are people getting COVID, but their reactions are nowhere near if they're vaccinated. And I know you said your team is 93% vaccinated. So, is there something been changed? Is it still that long period or you haven't been informed yet?
I'm confused by what the question is. Are you asking me, has something changed with the positive test? Or
no, has something changed with protocols from the Big Ten? as to the length of time somebody has to be down if they are vaccinated?
Well, it's not the Big Ten. All of these come from our local government, you know.
The local
government supersedes anything Big Ten wise. And as far as we heard, we still have the same timetable. If a guy tests positive, it's 14 days, I think, of being isolated, and then anyone in contact obviously falls under that same category. But hasn't been anything given to me stating that there's any different protocol, you know, other than, again, we're wearing masks inside the building, being here on campus. So other than that, there hasn't been any additional information passed on to us from our state, local officials. And again, on campus, we continue to follow whatever guidelines they give us.